The Galactic Council station drifted in silence above a dead star. The star had burned out long ago, leaving behind a cold, broken sun that gave no light, only darkness and ash. The Council had chosen this place on purpose. It reminded every species what happened to those who lost wars. Inside the station, the main chamber stretched wider than any city. Massive curved walls rose high, covered in glowing symbols and floating screens. Hundreds of alien leaders sat in layered rows, each from a different world, each powerful in their own way. At the center of the chamber, a symbol burned bright. The symbol of the Dominion, the strongest alien alliance the galaxy had ever known. They had ruled space for thousands of years. They had conquered thousands of species. And today, they had come to end the last question left in the galaxy: humanity. A tall Dominion commander stepped forward. His armor was black and gold, marked with the scars of 100 victories. His voice echoed through the chamber, calm and absolute. "The decision has been made," he said. "Humanity will surrender." The words were translated instantly into every known language. No emotion followed them. No hesitation, just certainty. Hearing this decree, the commander continued, "Earth will be occupied peacefully. Human populations will be controlled. Resources will be redistributed." He paused. "Refusal will result in planetary erasure." A quiet ripple moved through the chamber. Not fear, relief. Many species had waited centuries for this moment. Humans had always been uncomfortable, not powerful, not advanced, just unpredictable. The commander gestured, and holograms appeared above the floor. Images of conquered worlds, burning cities, kneeling leaders, surrender ceremonies. "Every civilization we faced believed itself special," the commander said. "Everyone resisted at first. Everyone surrendered within hours." Soft laughter echoed from alien delegates. Another Dominion leader spoke, her voice sharp and cold. "Humans are small," she said. "Their worlds are few. Their fleets are outdated." Screens shifted, showing human ship-sold designs, slow engines, simple weapons. "They are divided," she continued. "Their species fights itself more than it fights others." Another screen showed human. "Conflicts, borders, wars, chaos. They are emotional," a third leader added. "Unstable, loud, and militarily weak," the first commander finished. "They cannot stand against us." The conclusion was obvious. Humans would surrender. That was how the galaxy worked. All eyes turned to the human delegation. They sat alone. No massive armor, no glowing weapons, no signs of power. Just a small group of humans seated behind a simple symbol, an old blue sphere marked with white lines. Earth. The humans did not speak. They did not whisper. They did not move. Alien commanders waited for panic, for shouting, for desperate offers. They expected fear. They expected begging. They expected humanity to finally understand its place. But none of it came. The humans sat quietly. Some leaned back in their seats. One folded their hands. Another looked calmly at the Dominion leaders, eyes steady. No shaking. No anger, no tears. The chamber grew uncomfortable. Minutes passed. The Dominion commander frowned. "Do you understand the decree?" he asked. The human representative stood slowly. He was not tall. He wore no armor. His clothes were simple, dark, and unmarked. He looked tired, but not afraid. "We understand," the human said. The translator echoed his words across the chamber. Alien leaders leaned forward, ready for surrender. The human paused. Then he spoke again. "We will give you our answer soon." Silence crashed down like a wave. Others laughed. A Dominion general let out a sharp sound of amusement. "You misunderstand," the general said. "This is not a negotiation." The human nodded. "We know." More laughter followed. The Dominion commander waved a hand. "Very well," he said. "Delay if you wish. It will not change the outcome." The human representative inclined his head politely. Then he sat down. The council session ended shortly after. Alien leaders left the chamber confident and satisfied. They spoke of timelines, of occupation plans, how quickly humanity would break. They celebrated quietly, already dividing Earth's future among themselves. No one noticed the small changes beginning far from the Council Station. In forgotten regions of space, where no modern map bothered to look, ancient doors unlocked for the first time in centuries. Deep beneath asteroids and dead moons, old human shipyards powered on, lights flickered, systems that had not run in generations awakened. Massive structures shifted in silence. On distant worlds, sealed bunkers opened. Long-abandoned fleets received commands written in a language older than the Dominion itself. War protocols, buried, restricted, and never meant to be used, came online. No alarms sounded. No signals were broadcast. Human space remained quiet, peaceful, calm. To the galaxy, it looked like hesitation, like fear, like delay. But in truth, humanity was not deciding whether to surrender. They had already decided. The galaxy believed humanity was stalling. In reality, humanity was preparing. The galaxy slept peacefully after the Council's decision. To most civilizations, the matter was finished. Humanity was small, humanity was weak. Humanity would surrender, just like everyone else had before. The Dominion believed history was on their side. They always did. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. Trade worlds returned to business. Border fleets relaxed. Even species that once feared humans laughed quietly. They will kneel, many said. They always do. But in the deeper layers of the Dominion archives, something began to trouble a few minds, not warriors. Historians. Archivist Keth was old, even by his species' long standards. His skin had faded to gray, and his eyes had seen thousands of years of recorded war. He did not trust celebrations. He trusted records, and the records about humans felt. Ron Keth sat alone in the archive chamber, surrounded by floating data streams. He had been tasked with updating the official history entry. Humanity's status, pending surrender simple, routine. Yet as he scrolled backward through time, gaps began to appear. Entire centuries were missing. Wars that should have been recorded were not there. Battles mentioned in alien myths had no official data. Human fleets that once appeared in ancient sensor logs were labeled as errors. Keth slowed his work. That did not happen by accident. No empire ruled as long as the Dominion without learning how to erase things. He dug deeper, bypassing sealed layers meant only for high command. A warning flashed. Access denied. Keth hesitated, then continued. What he found made his breathing slow. The earliest records of humanity did not describe them as weak. They described them as unpredictable. One old report stood out, written by a long-dead Dominion general. Humans do not fight to win territory. They fight to ensure the enemy never tries again. Keth felt a chill move through his spine. He searched for the end of that war. There was none, only silence. Another document surfaced, marked restricted, never reviewed. It contained a single line. If humans ever prepare for war, the war has already begun. Keth leaned back. Why would such a warning exist? Elsewhere, Dominion intelligence began noticing strange data. Not alarms, not attacks, just changes. Energy usage in human systems dropped instead of rising. Civilian traffic slowed. Outer colonies went dark not from damage, but from controlled shutdowns. No distress calls? An analyst asked. No evacuation signals? Another added. The reports were confusing. If humans were afraid, they were hiding it well. A Dominion scout fleet was sent to the edge of human space, not an invasion. It's just observation. The scouts reported calm worlds, cities glowing softly. No panic, no military buildup, no visible fleets. Humans appear passive, the scout commander reported. No threat detected. The Dominion accepted the report gladly. But the scout commander hesitated before ending the transmission. There is something strange, he added. What? High Command asked. Our sensors keep detecting. Echoes. Echoes of what? Old signals, the commander said. Very old. Buried under space debris and radiation. High Command dismissed it. Sensor ghosts, they said. Ignore it. But the echoes continued. Far beyond the scouts' range, in places no modern ship traveled, ancient human beacons activated one by one. They did not send messages. They did not call for help. They only synchronized. Deep inside a hollowed moon, a massive structure shifted. Dust fell from walls untouched for centuries. Lights crawled across metal surfaces like waking veins. A single system message appeared. Protocol, final stand. Confirmed on another world, beneath oceans frozen long ago. Colossal doors unlocked. Machines the size of mountains adjusted their positions. No living humans stood there. They were not needed. The systems had been built for this moment. Back at the Galactic Council, Dominion leaders grew impatient. Why have humans not surrendered yet? One asked. They are buying time, another said. Fear does that. A younger commander frowned. What if they are not afraid? The room laughed. Do not insult us, the Dominion leader replied. Every species fears extinction. Yes, the commander said slowly. But humans survived extinction once. The laughter faded. Silence returned. The commander continued, carefully choosing his words. There are stories, he said, old ones, about a species that lost everything and decided never to lose again. The Dominion leader waved him off. Stories do not win wars. No, the commander replied. But preparation does. Orders were given. Small enforcement fleet would be sent into human space, not to destroy, not yet, just to remind humanity who ruled the galaxy. As the fleet prepared to jump, the human systems remained quiet. No messages, no warnings, no surrender. From the outside, it looked like weakness. Humanity watched the clock count down. And somewhere deep in space, machines older than the Dominion finished waking up. The galaxy believed humans were still deciding. They were wrong. Humanity had already moved to the next phase. The Dominion enforcement fleet jumped into human space without ceremony. 10 warships emerged from folded space, their black holes shining like blades. They were not built for diplomacy. Each ship carried weapons strong enough to burn continents. The mission was simple. Show power. Force surrender. End the delay. The fleet commander, General Vora, watched the stars settle back into place on the main screen. He expected alarms. He expected human defenses. He expected fear. Instead, space was quiet. Too quiet. No warning beacons activated. No patrol ships approached. No messages arrived. Human space looked empty. Scan the system, Vora ordered. Sensors spread outward in wide arcs. Planets appeared blue, green, alive. Cities glowed softly on the night sides. Civilian traffic moved slowly, carefully. No military formations detected, an officer reported. No weapons charging, another added. Vora frowned. They are pretending, he said. When humans always pretend. The fleet moved closer to the inner system. Minutes passed. Nothing happened. A junior officer shifted uneasily. General. Permission to speak? Granted, our sensors are picking up distortions. Explain. It is like space is folding slightly around us. It's not enough to damage the ships, but enough to change readings. Vora clenched his claws. Human tricks. Unknown, sir. Before Vora could respond, a warning tone echoed through the bridge. Ship 7 has lost signal, an officer said. Vora turned sharply. What do you mean, lost signal? No explosion? No debris? One moment it was there. The next it wasn't. The main screen zoomed out. 9 ships remained. There was empty space where the 10th had been. Silence filled the bridge. Scan again, Vora snapped. The sensors found nothing. No radiation burst. No wreckage. No energy spike. Just absence. Possible cloaking, Vora demanded. No, the science officer said slowly. Even cloaked ships leave traces. Another alert sounded. Ship 3. Signal unstable. The image of Ship 3 flickered, stretched, then twisted like liquid. Then it vanished. Gone. Panic crept into voices across the bridge. This is impossible, an officer whispered. Vora forced himself to breathe slowly. Maintain formation, he ordered. Weapons ready. The remaining ships tightened their positions. Space around them felt wrong now. Distances stretched. Time lagged. Commands took longer to execute. Then a message arrived. It did not come from any ship. It came from everywhere. A calm human voice filled every channel at once. This is your warning. The bridge froze. No threats followed, no demands, just silence. Vora's instincts screamed danger. Trace the signal, he ordered. Can't, the technician replied. It isn't coming from a point. It's embedded in space itself. Another ship vanished. Then another. The fleet tried to retreat. Jump drives failed to charge. Space refused to let them leave. Fear spread openly now. This is not human technology, an officer cried. Vora realized the truth too late. This is human technology, he said quietly, just not the kind we understand. Only 3 ships remained. Vora opened a direct channel to Dominion High Command. This is not a bluff, he said. Humans are not stalling. They are controlling the battlefield itself. Static answered him. High Command was gone. One last message appeared on the screen. Text only. You have crossed the line. The final ships disappeared without sound. No battle, no victory, just erasure. Back at the Galactic Council, celebration turned to confusion. Reports from the enforcement fleet stopped mid-sentence. No surrender signal arrived from Earth. No demands were answered. Dominion commanders demanded explanations. None came. Then long-range sensors detected something worse. Energy signatures across human space were rising, not spiking, synchronizing. Entire star systems pulsed in rhythm. Ancient shipyards once thought abandoned released fleets never recorded in any modern database. Ships the size of cities moved silently into formation. Their hulls carried no markings, no flags, no names, only numbers. Human commanders finally spoke again. Their message was broadcast across the galaxy. Calm, clear, unemotional. You demanded our surrender, the message said. We declined. Fear gripped the council. This was no longer a delayed response. This was the opening move of a war humanity had planned long ago. And the galaxy understood, far too late, that the first shock had only been a test. The real storm had not yet arrived. The galaxy did not sleep that cycle. Every major sensor network was focused on human space. What they saw made no sense. Human fleets were not rushing forward. They were not spreading across borders. They were not attacking. They were forming a line. Across multiple systems, human ships positioned themselves in a wide arc. The line was calm, perfect, silent. It was not an invasion formation. It was a boundary. Dominion High Command finally understood. Humans were not trying to conquer the galaxy. They were defending something. Inside the Dominion war chambers, panic replaced pride. They destroyed an entire fleet without firing weapons, one commander said. How? Another shouted. That fleet was not destroyed. It was erased. Orders flew across the room. Launch full invasion forces. Deploy planet breakers. End this now. Thousands of Dominion warships moved at once. Jump gates burned hot as fleets poured toward human space. These were not scouts. These were not warnings. This was total war. The Dominion believed overwhelming force would still win. They always believed that. The first invasion wave exited jump space near the human line and stopped. Human ships waited. They did not charge weapons. They did not maneuver. They simply held position. A Dominion admiral opened a wide broadcast channel. This is your last chance, he said. Move aside or be destroyed. The human response came instantly. This is the line, the human voice said. You will not cross it. The admiral laughed. Fire. Dominion weapons lit the void. Beams strong enough to crack planets screamed toward the human formation. They never reached it. Space bent. The beams curved. Some folded back into nothing. Others simply vanished. Human ships did not move. Then the human fleet responded. Not with noise. Not with light. Entire Dominion ships simply stopped existing. Not exploding. Not breaking apart. It was gone. The invasion formation collapsed into chaos. Ships tried to turn. Ships tried to flee. Jump drives failed. The human line advanced one unit forward, slow, measured, unstoppable. Across the galaxy, observers watched in horror. Dominion fleets had crushed empires for thousands of years. Now they were failing to cross a single line. Inside a human command vessel, officers stood calmly. Screens displayed probabilities, not emotions. A human commander spoke softly. Hold the line. No shouting. No celebration. This was not revenge. This was containment. The Dominion escalated, Planet killer weapons activated. Aimed at Earth, at Mars, at human colonies. Human fleets did not rush to intercept. Instead, space around the weapons folded inward. The planet killers disappeared before firing. One Dominion commander screamed, "What are you doing to reality?" The answer came cold and simple. Protecting it. As the battle spread, something strange became clear. Human ships did not chase fleeing enemies. They did not pursue victory. They only reacted when the line was challenged. Cross the line, vanish, stay back, live. The galaxy began to understand. This was not a war for expansion. This was a final defense. A Dominion strategist whispered the words no one wanted to say. "They are fighting like this is their last war." Another replied, "'Cause it is." Deep within human space, ancient systems reached full power. Weapons that had never been tested in open war aligned. Human commanders unlocked deeper protocols. Names appeared on screens. Final stand phase TWO ready outside. The Dominion forces regrouped. They still had numbers. They still had weapons. Pride still burned hot. A massive flagship moved forward. It's larger than any ship ever built. Its commander broadcast one last message. "You cannot stop us forever." The human reply was immediate. "We do not need forever." The flagship crossed the line. Space collapsed inward. The ship vanished. The Dominion line broke. Survivors turned and ran. For the first time in galactic history, the Dominion retreated. Not strategically, not temporarily. They fled. The Galactic Council went silent. Old species remembered forgotten legends. Young species rewrote their understanding of power. Humans did not chase the fleeing fleets. They stopped at the line and waited. The message sent across the galaxy was clear. Humanity was not angry. Humanity was not afraid. Humanity had decided where the universe ended, and anyone who crossed that boundary would not return. The galaxy watched the line hold. For the first time, it feared what lay behind it. The galaxy struggled to understand what it was seeing. The Dominion had retreated, not paused, not reorganized. They had fled. Across Council worlds, leaders sat in silence, staring at recordings of ships vanishing without fire or sound. This was not how wars were supposed to work. Wars had rules. Humans were not following them. Inside a damaged Dominion command vessel, a surviving admiral watched the human line from a safe distance. His fleet was broken. His confidence was gone. He opened a private channel. The request was answered. Human officer appeared on the screen. Calm, tired, human. The admiral spoke slowly, carefully. "Why?" he asked. "Why did you not surrender like the others?" The human did not answer immediately. He looked past the camera, as if listening to something far away. Then he spoke. "Because surrender never saved us." The admiral narrowed his eyes. "Every species surrenders. It is how extinction is avoided." The human shook his head. "No," he said. "It is how extinction is delayed." The channel remained open. The human continued. "Long before we met the galaxy, we nearly destroyed ourselves. Wars on our own world almost ended us. We learned something the hard way." "What?" the admiral asked. "That survival is not about winning," the human said. "It is about making sure the enemy never comes back." The screen shifted. Old human recordings appeared. Burning cities, fleeing civilians, a blue planet scarred by war. "These were our first lessons," the human said. "No allies came, no one saved us. We survived alone." The admiral watched in silence. The human's voice stayed steady. "So when we reached the stars, we did not build empires. We did not conquer worlds. We prepared." "For what?" the admiral asked quietly. "For this," the human replied. Across human space, deeper systems came online. Ancient stations rotated into new alignments. Weapons older than modern galactic history charged fully for the first time. The galaxy realized something terrible. Humans had not built weapons to fight wars. They had built weapons to end them. The human officer continued. "We studied every species we met. Your tactics, your psychology, your pride." The admiral clenched his claws. "So this was planned?" Yes, the human said. Not for you specifically. It's for anyone. The channel went silent for a moment. Then the human added, "We hoped we would never need it." Back at the Galactic Council, emergency meetings were called. Fear ruled every word. "What phase are humans in?" one leader asked. "Phase 2, another replied. "And there are more." Records from long-sealed archives were opened. Old warnings resurfaced. Warnings once ignored. Humans do not escalate quickly, but when they do, they never stop halfway. A council historian whispered, "They are not fighting to win territory. They are fighting to make the galaxy remember." On the edge of human space, Dominion fleets regrouped. They still had numbers. They still had pride. A new commander took charge. "We will strike harder," he said. "It cannot erase us all." Orders were given. A final assault formed. Not just Dominion ships. Allied fleets joined. Thousands of warships moved together, desperate and angry. They charged toward the human line. Human commanders watched calmly. No excitement, no fear. Only confirmation. "Phase 3 authorized," a human voice said. Behind the line, massive structures unfolded. Weapons that bent gravity itself aligned. The human fleet did not advance. They waited. The assault reached the line and stopped. Space itself refused to allow passage. Entire fleets froze in place, caught inside invisible pressure. Ships crushed inward. Time slowed, then collapsed. In moments, the assault was gone. The galaxy gasped. No counterattack followed. No pursuit. Humans shut the systems down. The line remained. The human officer reappeared on the Admiral's screen. "You asked why we do not surrender," he said. "This is why." The Admiral lowered his head. "You could destroy us all," he said. "Yes," the human replied, "but that is not the point." "Then what is?" the Admiral asked. The human's eyes hardened, not with anger, but with certainty. "To make sure no one ever asks us to surrender again." Across the galaxy, new rules were written. Star maps changed. Human space was no longer marked as weak. It was marked as absolute. The Dominion's age of rule ended quietly, not with conquest, but with fear. And as ancient human systems powered down slightly, one final protocol remained active, not yet used, not yet revealed. The galaxy sensed it. The final stand was not over. It was simply waiting. The war ended without a final battle. That was what confused the galaxy the most. After the last failed assault, no more fleets came. No new threats crossed the human line. The Dominion, once loud and proud, went silent. Across their worlds, leaders hid the truth from their people. They said the war was paused, said negotiations were ongoing, said victory was still possible. But the truth moved faster than lies. Independent traders spread recordings. Refugees told stories. Sensor data leaked. Every version said the same thing. The Dominion had tried to break humanity, and humanity had not moved. The Galactic Council met again, this time without celebration. The chamber above the dead star felt colder than before. The empty seats of fallen empires stood as quiet warnings. A council elder spoke at last. "What is humanity doing now?" No one answered immediately. Finally, a scout commander replied, "They're returning to silence." Screens showed human fleets pulling back from the line, not retreating, not fleeing, simply returning to deep space positions. Ancient shipyards powered down, massive weapons folded back into hidden places, human systems dimmed one by one. But the line remained, invisible, untouched, permanent. Humanity sent one final message. It was not a threat. It was not a demand. It was a statement. "We do not seek your worlds. We do not seek your rule. We will remain where we are." A pause followed. Then the last line appeared. "But if you cross the line again, we will not warn you." The message ended. No signature. No name. The galaxy held its breath. Years passed. No human fleets appeared. No expansion followed. Human space became quiet once more. Trade routes slowly reopened near their borders, but none crossed too close. No warships patrolled nearby. No spies dared to linger. Humanity did not chase fear. They let it grow on its own. In the Dominion, power collapsed. Allied species broke away. Old enemies rose. The empire that once ruled through strength now struggled to hold itself together. A former Dominion historian recorded his final entry: "We ruled through fear of destruction. Humans rule through certainty of response. On distant worlds, children learned new star maps. Human space was marked differently now, not as forbidden, not as hostile, but as final." A single note appeared beside it: "Do not test." A young alien once asked a teacher, "Why don't humans rule us?" "They could." The teacher answered honestly, "Because they already won the only war that mattered." "Which war?" the child asked. "The war to never be threatened again." Deep within human space, a small council met. Not politicians, not rulers, just humans. They reviewed the data. Threat levels dropped. Enemy activity faded. The ancient systems reported readiness, but no need for action. A human commander spoke softly. "Stand down, Phase 3. Lights dimmed further. Only one system remained active. Not a weapon, a watch. Humanity returned to its old habit: waiting, watching, far from the council chambers and war rooms. A human child looked up at the stars from Earth. The sky was calm, peaceful, ordinary. The child did not know about the line, did not know about erased fleets, did not know about final protocols. And that was the point. Humanity had not fought to be feared. They had fought so their children would never need to know how close extinction came. In the end, the galaxy learned a simple truth. Humans do not smile because they are weak. They smile because the hardest choice was already made. When the aliens demanded surrender, humanity did not laugh out of pride. They laughed because the final stand had already been prepared long ago, and it had worked. The galaxy would remember that lesson forever.